Good morning and welcome to another episode of Tank Time. It's been a while since I put a video out, but I just wanted to share a new habitat that I've been working on. It's a really nice little ecosystem I built, starring my two Iberian ribbed newts. One of them was sitting on top of the sponge filter there. That's the female. And you can see the male. You can see his tail hanging down. He's up in the weeds. Got some hornwort. I got laces packed with plants. Got 3 sponge filters to keep it nice and clean. These guys are high bioload. And then I added some white clouds, some golden white clouds, and some various long-finned danios. And these newts like a little chillier water than some of my other tanks. So there's no heater. And it can be tricky keeping this around between 60. It's got to be between 65 and 72 are the ideal temperatures. This is brumation season. I'm bringing them out of brumation because it's been about 6 weeks. They haven't eaten much. They've just kind of been hanging around. I fed them. Tomorrow what you do is to induce breeding is do a big water change, cool the water a little bit, and that kind of simulates a rainstorm. And this is after a period of like 6 weeks of brumation, which is kind of you lower the temperature and you shorten the day lengths and you simulate the dry or cool seasons of winter. They're native to Iberia, off the tip of Morocco, Spain, that part of Europe. I have also some shrimp. I have some snails. The snails clean up the algae, and they clean up after the newt. And then I have some shrimp to clean up after the snails. And in cleaning up after the snails, they get important probiotics. So there's a nice mystery snail, a couple of ram's horns. There's a little neocardina shrimp. I got about close to 3 dozen of those. I finally found some Amano shrimp, but they're tiny. So far, nobody's bothering them. I got some ghost shrimp. What else do I got in here? I got a few hillstream loaches, Borneo loaches, and I also have some blue neon Styphodon Gobis. These all like cooler temperatures and lots of oxygen. Some of them like a little faster flow than I have. But the newts like it a little more slow and easy. So I meet everybody in the middle. As you can see, the danios stir up enough current for both of them. They never stop. So this is a nice little functioning ecosystem. There's the Styphodon Gobi. I have 2 of those. Well, actually 3, but I haven't seen the 3rd one. And they get along fine. They come up and they clean up after whatever the newts and the fish don't eat. They'll come and chow down on it. The snails, there's a ghost shrimp. I love ghost shrimp. The only problem is they have a parasite known as, Vorticella. Thank you, brain. It's a ciliate protozoan that makes them turn milky white, and then they just kind of grow. But out of like 3 dozen of those, about 6 survived. So I like them. They're just so. Here comes a little shrimp now. Little neocardina buzzing around. Swimming with sharks. But nobody seems to bother them. Every now and then they get somebody that shows a little interest. Here's my Borneo Loach. They're so weird. It's like a cross between a tadpole and a stingray. I also had some African clawed frogs in here, but I soon learned that they were just out competing the newts, and I really wanted more of a community, and I knew the only other thing I could have would be the frogs and nothing else, because they're gobblers. So I traded them in. They got good homes, all 3 of them. They were starting to get kind of crazy at feeding time. And they would try to swallow arms and legs and heads, and yikes. So that didn't work too much. There's a little ghost shrimp. I just love how they just float. So this has been going for since about April. It's a nice seasoned tank now. I took a sponge filter from another tank that was in the sun, and it grew a beard of algae. Not beard algae, hair algae, which everybody just loves to graze on. Nom nom. I finally got some ambulia to grow. I think I found a secret temperature, and it's actually growing and not dying. I have an Anubius, which is thriving, as long as I keep the big snails fed. There's a couple of leaves in there that somebody chowed down on because I wasn't feeding enough. Now this latest leaf up here, just those little ram's horns are just cleaning it off. It's pretty intact, and it's a healthy leaf. Let's see, I finally got some decent looking hygrophila growing too. I got a ton of Java moss, because the shrimp love Java moss, and the newts apparently like to lay their eggs in Java moss. I got a ton of hornwort, and unfortunately I got this damn duckweed, which came with some fairy moss. The botanical name escapes me right now. Somebody would like to leave it in the comment. But it had some duckweed in it, and that took over, and I never got any fairy moss. I got just a dash of salvinia in here, floating on top. The newts like a lot of floating plants. I have some dollarweed, which is doing so-so. I have a feeling if I got that to the surface, it would actually grow. It's a problem plant in Florida, in lawns. If you have a wet lawn, you'll have dollarweed. That and matchstick weed, but I digress. the latter is really good for butterflies. My little Hillstream Loach, Borneo Loach. Well, about 3 days ago, I turned up the heat in the house because I had to chill the house to chill the tank, unfortunately. And it feels better, and the newts are up and at 'em. They've eaten twice. Big earthworms, red wigglers. Big reds, they're called. I also have some jungle val and some red jungle val. It's behind the herbicola. Oh, and somewhere in this mess, I got some ghost shrimp, like the first batch of ghost shrimp I introduced in here. They included a small female Goodiad, which is kind of like a little live bearer. And she was pregnant, I guess, and well, I know. She had babies, and there were 3 little baby Goodiads flying around in here. There's a couple of shrimp up there in the weeds. There's one, ghost shrimp. Yeah, but they're about 1 centimeter long, and they're cute little guys. Oh, and one more thing I gotta show you before I sign off, and that is this. I don't know how many, but both my mollies, both this one, that's the daddy. I think she was preggers when I got her, because she's fairly new. And of course, Big Mama over here, this is her second litter, and boy, can she have them. Yeah, I saw she was getting ready because her ovipositor was out, so I rustled her up and I put her in this little breeder box. And no sooner did I do that, she started spitting them out. I dare say there's close to 100 babies in there. And then, no sooner did I let her out, whoops, and the little one started throwing them out. She didn't have as many, I don't think. But my goodness, she was full of them. So that's a future brood for find homes for. Lots of them. When they get big, they get kind of messy. They can really overwhelm a smaller tank when there are numbers like this and they start to grow. So I like to get them about half grown and then turn them in for store credit somewhere nice. Well, that's about all I got for you this morning. Until next time. Good night, Mr. Blenny. Mr. Top Hat. Until next time, stay safe, stay warm, and stay curious.